Hey, we're back on the Young Turks where we're just having a story meeting, and you came back.
Good to see you.
Brett, Lissette, Alonso, and Ben. Brett?
Yeah, let's do a Harvey Milk story.
I like
huh?
it. I love it.
There's going to be, let's go to this camera. There's going to be a new U.S. Navy ship, the USNS Harvey Milk. According to a recent announcement, Harvey Milk made history for being one of the first openly gay politicians in America when he was on the Board of Supervisors in the city of San Francisco. And now they're going to name a naval ship after him. He was also a junior lieutenant diving officer in the United States Navy. And that's very exciting. What do you guys think about it?
I think it's a huge deal. I mean, we are so, the idea of gays even getting to serve openly in the military is still so fresh and new. The fact, Obama's mentioned at the convention this week about the Marine, who doesn't have to hide his husband. Like, that's cutting edge. That's a relatively recent phenomenon, because we had to get rid of, DOMA and Don't Ask, Don't Tell and all those other great Clinton 1 phenomena. It's great that he is being treated as the American hero that he is. I love that, in fact, this whole line of, they're like oil ships or something, are all named after civil rights activists. Like, there's the USNS Sojourner Truth, which is so cool. But Harvey Milk, it's great. And I've heard a few gays be all, well, he would not want to be part of the military-industrial complex, blah, 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 blah. But as you said, not only was he a Navy veteran, the day he was assassinated in San Francisco, he was wearing a U.S. Navy belt buckle. So he was not only a veteran, but a proud veteran. And I think, held great esteem for that part of his life. So the fact that the Navy is naming a ship after him, I think it's a great tribute to an American hero.
Yeah, he's awesome. And for anyone who's upset about naming it after, Harvey Milk, he was a Board of Supervisors guy. When he served in the military, he served on the USS Kittiwake, which is named after a kind of bird.
So there.
So for those of you who think that it needs to be some intense, military general, he was on the USS Seagull. So I'd rather have it named after a civil rights leader than a seagull.
And I'll tell you, this is the generation that's going to give us the famous gay people. Like, I think the first person injured in Afghanistan, or who got the Purple Heart in Afghanistan, was a gay soldier. Like, this is going to be the generation that's going to give us the out and proud heroes. But now I think is the time that we can look back at people who did proudly serve the military, and they were honorably discharged, they did all that stuff correctly, and then were later able to live their full lives as gay men and lesbians. And so, let's start honoring them as well. And Harvey Milk made an indelible impression on American culture. He was the first openly gay elected official in the U.S., or one of the first, and certainly one whose legacy
highest
still,
profile, certainly.
Absolutely, yeah. His legacy, reverberates today.
Yeah.
What was your reaction? I was thinking about you when during Obama's speech, when he mentioned, again, because you had that line, you were like, wait, did he say his, his husband? I'm like, oh, because, it's, and again, and his husband is different than her wife. So was that like are we past the point where that gets you out of your chair a little bit?
There's always still a little ping for those. That's still exciting to hear because it is relatively fresh. And I know people who are in the military, who are lifelong military folks who can suddenly now indeed not have to hide their husband and can openly go out as a couple, and one's in uniform and one's not, and all that stuff, in the same way that I know sort of mixed national couples that can now get married, and then the one who's from Canada can now be get a green card or whatever. So I've been going to a lot of weddings in the last couple of years. This is a time of flux.
That's one of the downsides.
For the gays. So many weddings, so many registrations. Jesus Christ, I can't give any more toasters. I think this is very exciting news, and I think that even though Milk is a big lefty and protested the Vietnam War and all that stuff, I think he would be thrilled to have a Navy ship named for him.
Awesome, I agree. So let it be written. All right, let's go to Kentucky.
Oh, you know what? Let me ask
you. Oh, damn it, Ben. I moved on.
But we were in the meeting, and this is an inappropriate question, but I feel comfortable asking.
All right, ask the gay. What do you got?
No, it's Navy related.
Oh, goody. Okay.
Is there, and I have it on my. I have in the Navy on my phone. I played it in the meeting. That's just a nonsensical old school, probably largely homophobic stereotype that gay men would have joined the Navy as opposed to the Army or the Marines, or is there maybe an ounce of truth there?
I think there might be an ounce of truth to it because there's I think the difference being that sailors are isolated. You know, you're on that boat and it's a boat of nothing but men, and you are off on your own for however a long period of time.
There's more romance, more.
Well, there's more the bonding time, however you want to put it. You know, it's the difference between being in a submarine and being on like
Okinawa.
a base somewhere.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think look, there are homos in every branch of the service. There always has been, and
Not the Coast Guard.
and all of them. And we won medals and did great shit, so shut up. But no, I suspect that I think the Navy maybe has a special.
All right,
place
I like
in all
that.
of our
That's a
hearts.
good
But that's theoretical. I don't know this for sure.
We'll be back next week with another episode of Ask the Gay. Thanks for coming.